Welcome back to Recap Vault. Today we'll dive into a 2019 comedy titled Son of a Rich. Spoilers ahead, so proceed with caution. Meet Grisha, the privileged son of one of Russia's wealthiest men. He's arrogant, entitled, and constantly lands himself in trouble since he's never held accountable for his actions. Grisha leads a frivolous life, wasting his days partying, drinking, and mistreating women. One night, after ditching a girl who refused to get intimate with him, he's stopped by the police for speeding. True to form, Grisha attempts to bribe Captain Semyonov, but the officer refuses. Undeterred, Grisha tries to escape, forcing Semyonov to block the car, which doesn't stop Grisha from recklessly driving off, with the officer clinging to the hood. Grisha's father, Pavel, soon arrives at the station to bail him out. Despite being behind bars, Grisha remains insufferably demanding. The chief reminds Pavel of the chaos Grisha has caused recently, destroying a yacht, severely injuring a cop, and more. He warns Pavel that his son is completely out of control and needs a reality check. After paying the bail, Pavel scolds Grisha, threatening to cut him off financially. Grisha, however, remains unfazed, knowing his father never follows through on his threats. Frustrated and stressed, Pavel seeks advice from Anastasia, a TV producer he's romantically involved with. Anastasia suggests involving Lev Arnoldovich, a master of immersive psychological experiences she used to collaborate with on horror projects. Though unconventional, Lev's methods are highly effective, and Pavel agrees to meet him. Lev, an eccentric inventor, demonstrates his talent for creating lifelike illusions by staging gruesome effects like pretending to sever a finger. Though skeptical, Pavel is convinced to hear Lev's elaborate plan for rehabilitating Grisha. One night, Grisha leaves a club and sees his car being towed. As he chases after it, he's suddenly tranquilized and loses consciousness. When Grisha wakes up, he's in a rustic stable dressed in unfamiliar clothes. A stable boy, Aryom, tells him to prepare the horses, warning that their lord won't tolerate disobedience. Bewildered, Grisha resists and is dragged out by the foreman, Avdey, who berates and whips him. Grisha soon learns he's in a village set in 1860s Russia, complete with serfdom-era customs. Desperate to escape, he flees into the forest, only to fall into a lake and be recaptured. Dmitri, the estate owner, nearly orders his execution for fleeing, but his compassionate daughter Aglaya pleads for mercy. Unbeknownst to Grisha, the entire setup is an elaborate simulation orchestrated by Lev, with Pavel funding the project. Hidden cameras, drones disguised as birds, and trained actors maintain the illusion. Anastasia, drawing on her TV production expertise, ensures everything runs smoothly. At this point, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more gripping stories. Hit the bell icon to stay updated with our latest content. We appreciate your support. While Grisha endures harsh treatment, early wake-ups, grueling work, meager meals, and punishments for insolence, Pavel begins to question if he's made the right decision. Lev reassures him that this tough love is necessary for Grisha's growth. Meanwhile, the cast of actors prepares for upcoming scenes, adhering to strict rules to preserve historical accuracy. Grisha, unaware of the ruse, starts adjusting to his new reality, slowly learning lessons about humility, responsibility, and respect. Grisha advises his sister Aglaya, who is considering marrying an elderly wealthy man, that it's actually a smart move since the man might pass away soon, leaving her with his fortune. Later, Grisha steals a chicken and convinces Artyom to gather supplies for making soup. However, Grisha selfishly eats the entire meal without sharing. When the theft is discovered, the village leader Avdey demands the thief confess or risk punishing an innocent person. Grisha stays silent as Artyom is whipped for the crime. Afterward, Artyom shows Grisha the painful scars on his back, but Grisha remains indifferent. His focus shifts when he notices Liza catching a glimpse of her modern undergarments during a mishap. This intrigues him, and he tries to get closer to her, but villagers intervene to protect Liza. As Grisha's selfishness and lack of progress become apparent, Pavel considers ending the social experiment. However, there's a surprise development when Grisha unexpectedly seeks out Liza to apologize. Initially wary, Liza accepts his apology, though she remains cautious. During the Ivan Kupala festival, known for its romantic legends, Grisha lightens the mood by introducing the lambada dance and a conga line. Meanwhile, Aglaya confides that she plans to end her life in despair over her arranged marriage. Instead of rushing to help, Grisha spends time with Liza, discussing future technologies and bonding. Their moment is interrupted when Artyom informs him about Aglaya's situation. Finally, Grisha decides to save her, but after rescuing her, he rejects her advances and looks for Liza instead. Grisha visits Liza's house, hoping to fulfill the festival legend by spending the night with her. However, Liza shuts the door on him. Later, the production team decides to shift the narrative, making Liza his new love interest, despite her initial dislike for him. She agrees to help Grisha become a better person, even though it strains her relationship with her boyfriend, Alexei. A new subplot emerges. Alexei causes trouble in town, injures a sheriff, and avoids consequences because of his noble status. Instead of being repulsed by this arrogance, Grisha envies Alexei's reckless night. However, when Dmitri offers Grisha his freedom in exchange for taking Alexei's punishment, Grisha reluctantly agrees. For the first time, he shares his reward of food with Artyom. Meanwhile, tensions rise between other characters. Anastasia and Lev rekindle their bond, but Lev reassures Pavel that Anastasia's true feelings are for him, prompting Pavel to reassess their relationship. Grisha endures the whipping, leaving Pavel too distraught to watch. Anastasia consoles him, highlighting the success of Lev's psychological tactics. Following the punishment, Grisha seeks his promised freedom papers from Dmitri, but instead encounters Alexei. Alexei mocks him, physically assaults him, and reveals the promise of freedom was a lie. Grisha contemplates fighting back, but ultimately walks away, disheartened. Despite the betrayal, he resumes his role as a stable boy, showing subtle signs of personal growth. Grisha starts spending more time with Liza and develops feelings for her. One day, while they're walking together, they spot a bird flying in a strange pattern. It turns out to be a drone, malfunctioning in midair. As the crew prepares for a potential emergency, Liza tries to calm Grisha by sharing that she's seen the bird since childhood and believes it to be a guardian angel. Fortunately, the technicians regain control of the drone, and there's no need for the sniper. Meanwhile, Alexei and Aglaya are frustrated with the situation. Aglaya is upset about being replaced by Liza, and Alexei is uncomfortable with his girlfriend spending so much time with Grisha. The tension peaks when Alexei and Aglaya are caught in a compromising position by Grisha and Liza. Liza is devastated by Alexei's betrayal, and Grisha mistakes the scene for a troubling familial encounter. This results in Lev firing both Alexei and Aglaya. To cheer Liza up, Grisha goes the extra mile by decorating a stable with candles and preparing a special dinner for her. They share a meal and talk, during which Grisha confesses he would marry her if he were free. Reflecting on past mistakes, he admits he wanted to punch Alexei, but refrained after seeing his own reflection in him. Liza is moved by his words and kisses him. Meanwhile, Aglaya appears on a popular talk show, spreading the news of Grisha's supposed kidnapping and torture. This prompts police investigation, but Pavel is keen to shut down the operation before they arrive. Lev, however, insists they wait, believing they still have time to stage a heroic act for Grisha. While Grisha and Liza are together, Liza tells him that if they are separated, everything they shared would be real to her. Just then, Artyom arrives and informs them of a Mongol attack on the village. Grisha, believing the story suggests an alternate route, but Artyom, following Lev's instructions, convinces him to return to the village, claiming the Mongols will destroy it if the workers aren't present. The Mongols arrive in the village, where their leader demands a woman as part of a tribute. After a brave man loses a duel to save his daughter, she is set free. The Mongols' next choice is Liza, but when she calls out to Grisha, he cowardly turns away. Seeing the plan falter, Pavel is ready to shut everything down, but Lev believes in Grisha and waits. When Grisha notices the bird drone overhead, he believes it's a sign from Liza's guardian angel. Determined to act, Grisha rides back, using Liza's old stick as a weapon to strike the Mongols. He rescues Liza, and they escape together just as the police arrive. The crew quickly convinces the officers it's all a movie shoot. Grisha and Liza eventually leave the estate and come across a gas station, leaving Grisha confused. Liza is about to explain everything when a sniper strikes, knocking him unconscious. Grisha later wakes in a hospital where Pavel lies about the events, telling him he's been in a coma for 3 months after a car accident. Grisha struggles to return to his old life, giving away his car to Captain Semyonov as part of his redemption. One night at a club, Grisha confronts Alexei and Aglaya, asking about Liza. They pretend not to know him, leaving him heartbroken. However, they eventually take pity on him and offer him information about Liza's whereabouts. The next day, they take him to the ranch where Liza works, and when they finally meet again, Grisha asks if everything between them was real. Liza confirms, and the two share a kiss, beginning a fresh chapter in their relationship. Later, Grisha brings Liza to his father's wedding, where he thanks him for the unexpected journey that helped him grow into a better person. Grisha continues to help rehabilitate other privileged individuals who come to the village.